Well, hi, I'm Diana Montford, the world's first transgender television journalist. And my guests are two of our all-time favorite guests. I won't say our favorite guests because the other guests will tell us. So, my guests are the wonderful songwriting Shane, the person who's been on the show more often than anyone, and the wonderful Charlene Chamberlain, the hostess with the mostest, who's going to tell us all about her radio show. And we have, and Shane's going to sing for us later. But right now we're going to talk about death and disease. No, what are we talking about?
Well, we have a story. First, I want to say thanks. It's so great to be back with you again.
Oh, my pleasure.
Yeah. We missed you.
And theirs. We all love you.
Yeah, we really do. Shane and I had a very, very interesting spiritual experience several months ago when a friend of ours suddenly became critically ill. And it involves the healing power of music. So I'll let Shane sort of begin the story.
Okay, so we decided to chill out and we went to a restaurant, Charlie Brown's, to go have a normal dinner. And
as opposed to an abnormal dinner?
No, when we're two together.
And you never know what might happen.
And I think we were wondering whether we were going to get this Charlie Brown Sunday at the end or not. And so we were ordering our food, and Charlene mentioned to me, by the way, I have to tell you something. You know that friend that I introduced you to? Recently, I just got a few texts from her boyfriend that she was, all of a sudden she couldn't move her legs. And I said, from what? You know, and she said, I have no idea. I'm waiting to hear back from him. So then she got another text as we were eating, and she's like, oh my God, she's on her way to the hospital. And so I think you made a phone call?
Yeah, and within probably about 24 hours, she became completely incapacitated, and she was totally paralyzed. The only thing she could do was blink her eyes. So
do they know why?
They didn't know. They started immediately running tests on her. At first they thought she had MS, then they thought maybe Lyme's, maybe ALS. But it took about, I guess, 3 or 4 days, and they finally deduced that she had Guillain-Barré syndrome.
Which is what?
Which is an autoimmune disease, which causes paralysis. But for her body to completely shut down within 2 or 3 days, it's pretty unheard of. So they weren't really sure what her prognosis would be. They put her on life support, and it seemed like every day it was just getting worse and worse and worse. And so I was telling Shane about this because about a month ago, before this happened, we had all the girls together. We all went out to a really nice dinner.
And
Shane arrived early because she had been at her yoga class. And our friend that became ill, she was there early, and they'd never met, but they arrived at the same time. So they were there before any of the other girls got to the restaurant, and they got to talk privately for about 15 minutes. And she was asking you about spirituality.
I was sensing something around her, like I do sometimes, and sometimes I'll tell you, and sometimes I won't. But as she was talking, and I said to her, "What's with all the books?" She said, "What books?" I said, "Well, I have gut feelings sometimes." And I said, "You really work a lot." And I said, "But you sell yourself short." And I said, "What's with all these books and these children?" And so we got to talking, and she told me that she works in a school. She's doing budgeting, and that's what the books were. And she works with these children.
She's a first grade teacher.
Oh.
And I said, she said, "What else do you see?" And I didn't want to say too much more. I just said, all these children, because I knew she wanted to know if she's going to have more children, because that's something that I felt with her, and we talked, and I think it's okay to talk about. So I said, let me tell you something. God put all those children in your life because you're that first grade teacher or kindergarten teacher that they're always going to remember because of what you've done or what you've helped them do, and that extension of love. You were the mom all the time for them, and they're never going to forget you. You just don't know it. They're young, but I'm telling you that. She said, "How do you know?" I said, I don't, how do you know that's true? I said, "Well, do I know you? How do I know? Because I know."
Right.
So then we talked about, I said, "I see a lot of angels around you." I even went that far, and I said, "There's so much good around you." And she asked me, "Is there really like a God? Is there really angels? And how do you know this?" So we talked, and I thought that was kind of strange. And then when we got done, her and her
The rest of the girls
crew
arrived.
happened to just, you know, glide into the restaurant,
Right.
and then it was just like, at regular happy girls time. And then when I left, I was like, I wonder what that was about. But I really felt like I was supposed to be there for her,
Yeah.
and I relayed a
Yes.
message to her that she needed to feel so that she can go back to work and feel like it's going to be okay. And that's the girl.
And that's the girl. So here we are about 2 months later having dinner, and I'm telling her what had happened, and I was just so devastated over it because I knew there wasn't really anything I could do but pray. So we talked
She asked
a
if
lot.
I remembered her. I said, that's one of the people I remember the most,
Right.
because it still is here.
Right.
she
So
told me.
we had dinner, and we were trying to figure out what to have for dessert. So Shane says, I think Linda would want us to have a Charlie Brown sundae. Not knowing
joking
that
around.
Linda loves Charlie Brown sundaes. We didn't know that. But anyway, so we did, and we had the Charlie Brown sundae. And we were kind of upset, so I said, just come back to my house. We'll have some coffee, we'll chill out, we'll talk.
But
So
before the Charlie Brown Sunday came, I said, will you just pray with me?
yeah, that's right, we did.
I
Yeah,
said, because I feel her.
yeah.
And then she
Linda, who was unconscious in the hospital.
Yeah,
Yes.
because when she got the message when we were in Charlie Brown's, she was crashing fast. She went from not being able to walk, and then she's telling the boyfriend, "Well, get her to the hospital. Get her to the hospital," instead of trying to figure this
And
all
this
out.
just happened like in the space of a day, right?
Yeah,
Hours.
hours really.
Then when they got her to the hospital, she said, "Oh my God, he's telling me they're ready to put her on life support
and
system."
they did, and they had to.
And because her body's getting paralyzed all the way through. So
And what's the name of this disease?
Guillain-Barré syndrome, and it's pretty rare. I think it's 1 in 200,000 or 300,000 people get it.
Did they have to amputate anything?
No. Mm-mm.
we were surprised that she even lived through it because they really didn't have any.
No, I mean, when they put her on life support, they actually had to.
No, how does music come into this? I don't get it.
So
Well, here we go. We come back to my house, right?
She said, "I think you better go to my house before you go home."
home. We're too upset. Let's
Because
go.
I said, "I feel her here." And then she said, "What do you see?" And I said, "Oh man, don't do this to me." Because, I said, "Okay, I'll tell you. She's making a decision right now." And I see her and I feel her, and I said, I just sat there quietly, and we got this Sunday and everything, and
Excuse me, is it a decision to stay or go? That
Yes.
Yeah. I said, "She's right here, but it's going to be okay." I said, because I said, "Oh my God, Char, she knows about those angels that are there with her now, and she already got forewarned."
And you validated that for her a couple of months
said
prior.
to her, I said, "Oh my God, she's singing it now because I'm seeing it." So I was kind of shooken up because I've never had that happen before. I've seen a lot working, with
Right,
people that
sure.
are in hospice and things like that. But she said, "Come to my house before you go home. You don't look good." And I said, "I know, I'm not going to go home yet. I'll stop at your house." So I went straight to the piano. She went upstairs and got changed. And I'm playing all this music because I was venting.
We do that when we are upset or we want to relax. We both do that too.
I found she's
Go
the
right to
same.
the piano. So Shane's upstairs. I'm listening as I'm getting changed, and I hear her playing "All You Need Is Love," and I'm like, "Oh, that's so apropos for right now."
You mean what the world needs now? Something like that?
No, the Beatles song.
Oh, All You Need Is
Love. Right,
Love.
but her version, which really rocks, which maybe we'll hear later. So,
Well,
but
don't we have film of this young
we
woman?
do. Let's roll a
let's-
little bit of
we
film
do.
of just
We have
a little bit of Linda in the hospital, and
so
a little bit
the-
of what happened, and then we can finish the
Do you
story.
want to talk about it over so we know what's going on?
Well, actually, I went to the piano and the words for the
Poor young
song.
woman, my God.
The words for the song came, "Tell the wind I'm calling."
Oh, wow.
I s-
Well, that's not unlike MS, actually.
So
And this came
was able
upon
to
her
get
all of a
the-
sudden.
yes, very quickly.
She said when she heard the song that we had written, she had
I'm
feeling.
ecstatic to say that Linda is expected to make a complete recovery, and we all hope that Tell the Wind I'm Calling will serve as an inspiration for anyone and everyone, as it was written from the depths of our hearts with a lot of help from the divine. Wow.
That's it.
I think that's it.
And that's going to help her.
And that's going to help a lot of people, Shane.
I know.
Whose house is that?
That's my living room.
I love your furniture.
Oh, thank you.
Is that,
That's Lynn. That's yes. Lynn.
and that she has recovered?
She actually is getting ready to go back to teaching school
Wonder.
in September.
Wonder.
Yeah.
Is she well, completely well?
She is expected to make a complete recovery. She is still in rehab, but she'll get there. She'll get there.
It'll be crowded.
Right.
Yeah.
So we wrote this song together, and it actually took us about 15 minutes to flesh it out.
Would you say you were channeling it in a funny kind of?
Yeah, absolutely.
She came down from the stairs when she got dressed and said, I went for a walk early in the morning. She said, all I kept hearing was, tell the wind, tell the wind. And I'm playing the piano in the living room. And I go, I know. She goes, no, are you listening to me? And I go, I know, I'm playing it now. In my head, I was hearing it. And she goes, I think it's tell the wind something. Tell the wind I'm going to be okay.
Fine.
And I go, and I started singing what I was playing. I went, does it go like this? Remember I said, it doesn't go like this?
Yes.
Tell the wind I'm calling. Tell the wind I'm fine.
No, and this song presumably cured this young woman?
It didn't
Well,
cure her.
I wouldn't. I mean, of course, she had great medical care and great therapy and love and care of her family. But what happened was we wrote this song.
The words were actually the prayer we were saying.
Yeah, exactly.
And the words I gave to her at that Christmas, the party we were at, the dinner, and I said something about we're calling all the angels and somewhere between heaven I can see the light, because that's what I was saying. I said somewhere between heaven I can see. That's where she is now. Everything I said, I'm seeing that she sees it, and she's
because
like, I get it.
In her unconscious state, she
was
ascended.
out.
Yeah.
She could see what I'm seeing.
And now she's back among us and on
she
the
is, and
road to recovery.
and thriving. Yeah.
So what happened? We went to
the
said,
hospital.
I want to show you something. And I go, she goes, don't you ever answer emails? And I said, yeah, why? She said, I sent you something. She went and she videoed with her husband
the rehab, which we just saw.
Yes. Would you like to mention your husband's name?
Mark Thellman.
Who is a filmmaker and a professor and a very intelligent person. And you should tell us your radio show, actually.
My radio show is called Front Row, and it's on Wednesday evenings from 6 to 6:30, and it's basically all about the music industry.
And where can they hear it?
And you can find it on YouTube now, and it also is live streamed through WTER.
Okay, now back to
the story.
Yes.
To the story of the story.
Yeah, she was in bed and she was with all type of apparatus and breathing tubes and all. She wasn't up yet, and she said, "I want you to see something." And so she said, "Come with me to the hospital." So I did, because she opened her eyes. She was in a coma for a month.
Well, she wasn't really in a coma. She was just paralyzed. She knew everything that was happening to her, which to be a prisoner in your body like that, but she could not communicate. They were using flashcards, and she was blinking.
Sort of like when you begin life, in a way.
Sort of, yeah. So Shane and I went to the hospital, and Linda was coherent, and she could speak a little bit. So we went and we actually sang the song to her a cappella without any music, and then we all cried, and Linda said, I'm getting needles and pins on the left side of my body, and that was the side of her body that had not been responding as quickly as the other side to any of the treatment or modalities or therapies. So then Shane went into the studio and actually cut the song and recorded it.
Well, maybe we should
I said,
hear it.
I've got to put this down.
Well, I think
I think you should sing it for us.
I do too.
Okay.
I think this would be a great time to sing it.
And I think you should get your clothes up and all that.
I just happen to have
we
a
will
mic.
move out of the way.
That's right.
Yes.
It's fine.
Let's go for it.
I'll sing the song to you. Do I have a red more?
We've been crossing our legs forever, and we were all saying our circulation is done. Okay, but getting a nice lake show?
That's
okay.
right. Chris
This
likes
skirt
it.
is actually this long, but I want to look really slutty. So. All right, now sing us this next spiritual song.
Tell the wind I'm calling. Tell the wind I'm fine. Calling all the angels from the earth and sky. Somewhere between heaven, I can see the light. Words are softly spoken, and hearts are lifted high. 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 If a breeze may touch you and you hear my name, you may feel me hug you and take away the pain. I'm calling out to heaven to help you understand. Words that are not written are in the hearts of men. 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 So when life's up or when it's down, like the wind I'll circle around. Never give up at any time. Like the wind you don't die. You live a new life. 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 When life's up or when it's down, like the wind I'll circle around. Call my name at any time. I'll be by your side like the wind so fine. I'll be by your side like the wind so fine. I'll be by your side. You live a new life. You live a new life. You live a new life. Live a new life. Tell the wind I'm calling. 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 Tell the wind I'm calling.
That was real tough.
Oh, it's beautiful.
There you go. See, so it didn't want to go. So
No.
it is beautiful.
So I do want to mention that every time we actually gave Linda a CD, and she had it in the hospital, and she did listen to it quite a bit, and she said to us every time she played it, she would still get needles and pins and shivers on that side of her body. And we feel that maybe this song has helped promote her healing.
Because of the positive vibrations involved in writing it?
Yeah, I think so, and I think, you know, it was our prayer. It is our prayer to Linda.
It was actually our prayer that we
Yeah.
said, and words that I actually said to Linda, and it was, there was so many deep dimensions involved in having the song just come together and evolve itself. I was
Right.
woken up in the middle of the night
Oh
every
my gosh, yeah,
single
that's right.
day, Every
then-
day the song wouldn't leave me, and it wouldn't leave.
Same
She'd
here.
call me, as busy as she is.
I'm trying to sleep. It won't go away.
The song is still
Yeah.
there. I said, well, she hears it and she's with it.
Mm-hmm.
The same place where I got the song.
There was one point though when we were writing it, and there was just a little bit we were stuck on, and I said to Shane, let's just forget it. We're tired. Just go home. That night around 3 o'clock in the morning, she said that Linda woke her up and said, Shane, go to the piano. I'm going to help you finish this song. And Shane called me the next morning. She said, you're not going to believe what happened. I got up in the middle of the night. I don't know why I got up in the middle of the night, but something said, go to the piano. I went to the piano, and it was that song again.
And Linda's the
I
young woman who
finished
was
it.
unconscious.
So it was really interesting, but later on at one of the rehab visits, Linda said to me, you know, this is really interesting. I've always wanted to write a song.
And I said, that's what
And-
she said.
Yeah, so.
I woke up with that. She said that to me. And I said, this is why I know it's her. Because I said, this is going to be strange, but I'm going to relay this to you. I don't relay how I get my songs. And she, that's what she had said. I always
Right.
wanted to write a song, and you need to step it up and make
And
it
that
more
changed
happy.
the tempo.
And then I got this bridge when I sing at the end, which I didn't have, and it was somewhere between heaven I can see the light. I got a little choked up when I
know.
was singing it now. And you live a new life, you don't die, you live a new life. So that means whether you live in this world or you're going to that world, it's still a new life. You still have life, you're still alive in spirit. When you leave this earth, I believe, and so many times I've heard it from people in hospice coming out of coma where they've left and they've gone to the other side, and they all say the same, they're still them, and it's who you are is what your dreams are, your goals, your beliefs, your memories, all the things that's what go with you and your dreams and who you are. And you just, leave this body. You don't need this body anymore.
It's a shell, really, it is.
You've done hospice volunteering, huh?
Yeah, I did a lot of that with my two little pet therapy dogs, Angel and Sandy.
They're adorable.
Yeah, they're pretty famous in the hospital
are.
circuit in the senior
They have little
citizen
outfits
homes.
and everything.
I dress them up. It's like the circus is coming to town, They're in a little baby coach, honestly. And I dress them up. They're only little 5-pound Pomeranians. And I love working with the seniors in nursing homes, especially because, man, they will tell you their stories and you just brighten their day. A lot of them, they don't have really good memories.
Or family even.
And they'll think that you're the granddaughter
Right.
that
I
never
know.
came to see them. And
that's so sad. isn't it?
I listen and then God gives me, I walk in and I say a prayer before I go in. I say, God, give me the words, because I don't know these people, and I get the right words. And then my dogs, it's really a strange thing. We're all on the same thing. It's scary a little, because my dogs are looking at me like, why aren't you saying what you're supposed to say? Like, I know, it's like, I think they know. And they'll even go like this if somebody's sad.
Animals are very intuitive.
Oh, yeah,
Absolutely.
totally.
Yeah.
I've seen animals see spirits.
Of course.
Absolutely.
And even though the people there couldn't.
That's happened several times when I'm in hospice at Kennedy Hospital. Just before, like, I'll be there, and all of a sudden, say the patient gets real alert, and she'll sit up and say, oh, my angels are here. Well, I already know, because my one dog will just go like this and look exactly where
The same
Exactly.
spot.
patient's
And
looking.
they see it.
And then I of course, because I know I'm like used to it, I'll say, what does the angel look like? And they'll go, and I think my family's here.
Oh,
And
yes.
Recently, last Thanksgiving, I was at the house of a friend of mine who's like my sister. We both knew her father. Her father died 30 years earlier of a heart attack. She has 3 little dogs. They were all staring at a fixed space, barking. I said, it's your father.
He's here.
Yeah.
Sure.
you can sense it.
Totally believe that. Absolutely. So Shane, Tell the Wind is going to be on your new CD, right?
Yeah, you know what? I have a proof.
Well, let's see it.
let's see it.
Yes. Unbelievable. How
My
wonderful.
CD, my next CD is going to be, it's at Disc Makers now, and I have to pick it up on Friday. So they gave me a proof of what the cover is going to
Wow,
look
look
like.
at that. How
Maybe we
beautiful.
can come in close on it, because I can't really see it.
Am I okay here? So the front cover will have a picture of me on the front, and it says, Come back, Shane. What else would you call it, right? So she's back, and then there's the 6 songs. It's
And
just
that's
a
the
short
back.
CD.
This is the back.
That's
right?
the back cover.
Right,
over
the front
here,
and the back.
backwards. And the first song is "Tell the Wind I'm Calling."
Which is the song we just heard.
Yes. That blesses and graces this. So this is what it looks like when you have a proof. And actually, this is what the inside looks like, and it comes like that. You see?
Flip it around.
That's what's on the inside of the flaps. On the inside, it's a Digipack CD. In case you don't know what that is, it's front cover, back cover, and then an inside cover. And but this will be the front cover. Come back, Shane.
And how and where can people get that?
You will be able to get it on cdbaby.com or Amazon or iTunes, any of them, or
So now you know. So that's where you can get.
Because with a lot of blessings and a lot of good music, it's from the heart.
That's where you can get Shane's new album, and you can listen to Charlene Chamberlain every Wednesday night. When and where?
It's called Front Row, and you can check us out on YouTube or live stream through WTER.
And don't forget, Shane has other albums, and she's on YouTube. And what else are you on?
Facebook.
Amazon.com,
You're on
CD
Facebook,
Baby,
too.
Facebook, Songwriting Shane on Facebook.
And
Diana Montford Show.
Of course.
And Charlene Chamberlain Show. I didn't mean to point.
You pointed. That can't go on. All the paramedics.
Quick, sing the song for her.
Yes. Hurry.
We've only just begun.
I'm well again. I can walk. No. Anyway.
Tell them when you're calling.
Yes. Nobody break winds. Stop that. Oh, they're full of beans. Okay. Anyway, I'm checking the clock here. We keep things tasteful here, not. But anyway, my guests have been Songwriting Shane and her new album, which is called
Come Back, Shane.
Yes. Charlene Chamberlain, radio show Wednesday night. I'm Diana Montford. I love you a lot. Even if no one else loves you, I love you. I will see you next time. I love you a lot. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Thanks for watching.